All right, we are on the eve of the Epstein files supposedly being released by the Justice Department. If you remember, there was a bill that passed that forced the Justice Department to release the Epstein files. And we just got some news from CNN that the Justice Department is racing currently to redact some of the Epstein files before the release. As most of you agree here that this executive branch has been hyper-politicized in all of these agencies, the DOJ, the FBI, the CDC, the FCC, the FEC, all of them have been flooded with loyalists. And we've gotten information that the FBI and the DOJ have spent significant amounts of money and time working to redact the files. Redact, what are we redacting? Donald Trump's name, that's for certain. But I want to walk you through a few new details and prep you for what you could see tomorrow. Before we get into it, though, my name is Chris Mowry. I'm filling in for Adam Mockler on the Adam Mockler channel. If you enjoy this type of content, there's a link to my YouTube channel in the description down below. It'd mean a lot if you checked it out. I appreciate each and every one of you on this channel. I say it every single time. We're trying to build something big to punch back and really beat a lot of the right-wing media that we have seen grow over the last 10 years, frankly, in the United States that has led way, been a lot of the reason that Donald Trump has been successful in American politics. And so we're trying to combat that, bring something new, uplift Gen Z voices in the process going into 2026, 2028, 2032, beyond, for as long as we can. And so if you want to help support us and join this community, all you have to do is hit subscribe down below. It goes such a long way. So as I said, again, CNN reporting now that the Justice Department is working to redact a lot of these files. And this is something that AOC touched on just a few days ago, reminding people that, look, anything you're about to see politically from Trump or any Republicans should be viewed in the light that the Epstein files are supposed to come out on Friday. And so we also just learned that Congress is giving itself an early holiday break. House GOP leadership is canceling the Friday votes, letting members skip town tomorrow. So they were supposed to be in Congress on Friday, tomorrow, when the Epstein files are released. All of a sudden, that has been canceled. AOC tweeting out, like I said, view all political developments for the rest of the week in light of the fact that the Epstein files are supposed to be released on Friday. House Republicans just suddenly canceled congressional session Friday and are sending everyone home Thursday evening. This has gone very viral. A lot of people speculating as to why or what we will see tomorrow. I honestly don't know. I spent some time before this video thinking about it. I don't know what the play is there or why they would cancel. But you let me know what you think in the comments down below, because you guys always have great ideas. And I do read all of your comments. Truly, I appreciate each and every one of you. I also remind you that House Democrats just in the last 48 hours released a set of new photos, roughly 70 of them, relating to Jeffrey Epstein from Jeffrey Epstein's estate. Some of these are pretty intense, so just be prepared. I want to let you know, but I am going to show you some of them in a second. Before I do, remember, everything you're seeing right now and whatever you see tomorrow, also view it in the light that Donald Trump right now is really struggling politically. And I know this has been said so many times before. It's like he should have been done after the Hollywood Access tape, the first impeachment, the second impeachment, January 6th, all the indictments being found liable for sexual abuse, fraud, a convicted felon. I get it. Right now it's unique, however, I'd say, because for once Donald Trump is in power, the economy is struggling, and he keeps yelling and screaming that he's fixing all of these things. He was supposed to fix them on day one. The American people are finally not buying it. And what's key is that a lot of his people in Congress, a lot of the people that are normally so loyal to Trump, are starting to break with Trump on these issues, which we don't normally see. And so I want to play this clip from you. This is from Jessica Tarlov about a month ago, talking about the political realities of the Epstein files. Because remember, this is one of Donald Trump's worst issues right now. Take a listen.
Files is going to be reframed as a Democratic hoax is never going to work. The American public is not cool with it. What does he have? Trump has a minus 39 approval on handling the Epstein files, and only 45% of Republicans even approve at this point. The narrative about Hakeem Jeffries, everyone at this table knows how fundraising emails work. So that email was from someone named Lisa Rossi, who's from a random fundraising group called Dynamic SRG, asking if Epstein wants to go to a generic DCCC dinner that Obama and Jeffries were going to be at. There was never any meeting. There was never any donation. And he appears one time in the Epstein files. By the Miami Herald's count, Trump is mentioned over 1,000 times in the latest tranche that just got out. And people are not going to forget that in 2002, for instance, Trump said, "I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy. He's a lot of fun to be with." It's even said he likes beautiful women as much as I do. And many of them are on the younger side. I have never alleged, and I am not alleging now, that Donald Trump has done anything untoward with an underage woman. But if you want to be throwing around single emails from a random fundraising group to try to make Brooklyn Barack look bad and not acknowledge how many times Donald Trump is mentioned in these files, you're just going to look dumb. And I would encourage everyone to not look dumb.
It's other.
Yeah, again, beautifully said there. And some of those numbers in the very beginning are really striking. I mean, again, even Republicans really just disagreeing with how Trump has handled this. Obviously, he promised the files to be released and then said they didn't exist and then said they did exist and then said again that they were a hoax. And now we literally had to force through all this pressure and bringing Republicans like Thomas Massie to this kind of side of, okay, Donald Trump is not doing what's right. It has taken all of this pressure to then force a vote, to then force the Justice Department to hypothetically release more files. And again, Donald Trump, best friends with Jeffrey Epstein. People aren't forgetting that. You remember we just saw these photos recently. We remember the birthday card that Donald Trump sent Jeffrey Epstein, this very disturbing card. We know that he's been friends with Jeffrey Epstein for a long time, that he was pictured at all sorts of different events with Jeffrey Epstein. He was invited to Jeffrey Epstein's wedding. He was at Trump Tower. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And I don't want you to forget that. Before we listen to Thomas Massie, who just released a video that's really pretty important and, again, sheds more light on what we should expect tomorrow. These are some of the photos we got from House Democrats in the last few days. And I'm on the official Dropbox right now that House Democrats released. Again, I want to be clear, some of these photos are pretty intense. There's some interesting quotes here that people have been talking about. Also want to know your thoughts here. She was low, plain low in the morning, standing 4 feet 10 in one sock. Jeffrey Epstein, I think, writing this on somebody's foot in relation to this book. I understand this book to be actually about a predator who's around an underage girl. That's the whole point of the story. Jeffrey Epstein, I guess, read this book. You have here more writing about this Lola character. Again, if you know more about this book, you can let me know. We have photos of a bunch of different passports. We saw Jeffrey Epstein's passport, and then we have photos of more passports here. However, all these passports appear to be again, redacted photos. And then we got photos of Jeffrey Epstein. We got photos of Bill Gates, I believe on Epstein's Island or somewhere obviously around Epstein's Island with a woman who is redacted. More photos of Bill Gates, Jeffrey Epstein with different characters here. This was a big deal. This is a New York Times columnist writer who actually wrote an article very recently arguing against the release of the Epstein files now being actually released in photos on Jeffrey Epstein's Island. Pretty big deals, more characters here. And again, a lot of stuff that people are asking questions about. Why are we getting photos of bow and arrows? I don't know. Different medications. Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. This is a document that appears to, outline who are you seeing? The love of my life. Who this is from, I don't know. More photos of Epstein around other individuals. Again, you can go to the House Democrats website and see some of these photos. Let me play this video from Thomas Massie because he just revealed something pretty big about tomorrow. He's aware of a lot of people in the Epstein files that he's not made public. And so he says, how are we going to know if the Epstein files are actually, we have all of them? Well, I'll tell you, I know the names that should be there. Take a listen.
Hi, this is Congressman Thomas Massie. We're about 48 hours from the deadline for the Attorney General to produce all of the Epstein files according to the Epstein Files Transparency Act, which was signed on November 19th. So that makes the production of these materials in a publicly searchable format due on December 19th. And I wanted to talk about some of the things to look for and what we may be anticipating and some of the unique aspects of this project. Let's start out with, how will you know if they've released all the materials? Well, one of the ways we'll know is there are people who have covered this case for years, and I've talked to them in private, and they know what some of the material is that's back there. But the other way that we're going to know is the victims' lawyers have been in contact with me, and collectively they know there are at least 20 names of men who are accused of sex crimes in the possession of the FBI. These would reside in the FD 302 forms. The FBI fills out these forms to summarize or memorialize what a witness gave them as far as testimony when they interviewed with the FBI. So if we get a large production on December 19th and it does not contain a single name of any male who's accused of a sex crime or sex trafficking or rape or any of these things, then we know they haven't produced all the documents. It's that simple.
Yeah, and so again, this video is pretty long. You can check it out on Thomas Massie's Twitter, but pretty powerful words there. I know, 20 names here, and I'm going to be looking out for them. There's a lot of moving pieces here, but again, the thing to remember tomorrow, now watched, members of Congress get sent home. We know the Justice Department is working to redact. Donald Trump flailing, panicking, giving these, this speech last night, 20 minutes, just yelling at the American people, please love and care about me more. I don't like that my poll numbers are low. All of these different moving political pieces leading up to tomorrow, and we will see what happens. The danger for Republicans here is that, as I assume Trump will try to spin, whatever we see tomorrow, assuming we don't see much of Trump and we see all these names that will try to be tied to Democrats or whatever, assuming the Justice Department basically cooks the books and releases half-assed files, the question will be, will Republicans back up the media spin that will inevitably come from Trump and these individuals if that's what happens? Or are we gearing up for actually somebody to do something right in the Justice Department and we get actually some of the real files and Donald Trump is heavily implicated? We will see. I'm curious how this video will age. Listen, if you appreciated this, it would mean a lot if you hit subscribe and like down below. Once again, my name is Chris Mallory. I'm filling in for Adam Mockler on the Adam Mockler channel. Make sure you check out my YouTube channel in the description down below. You guys are all the best. I appreciate all the support. Happy holidays. I hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you in the next video.